than a $2 bill. And I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing spree. So if you wanna have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Yeah, just say hi. My name's Ian. Ian? Couldn't get any red ones, so we finally. Yeah. Who, me? Right here. On our yeah, or by Nina. Nikki was with you guys. You gonna send it back on?
Going late because passing gas now. Hope we can find the res. Corner.
Yep. And I like to. Yeah, it went long.
Oh, Colin.
Nolan, Brad. Hi, Cheryl.
Mama, no.
Oh, okay, so
That's
you
what
go.
I said. Yeah, I know. The way you looked at Rose.
On the right, and then you just get a little past that, and there's a left where you turn into the reserve. It's like about 30 seconds past the near the golf course. It's on the left, you'll see like a gravel road. And then look on the left and then turn. There's your road that runs down the left side. Turn there. Yeah, on the left, and then just come straight through. You see the gates, just come right through. Just straight down, and then I'll tell Ricky and Mel to CBC. Straight down, and then it'll be all on the left. And you come down the road about 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, bye.
I know you're not.
Robin. Oh yeah. Aw. This is my bad leg, and this is I did this yesterday. So I got two legs that are messed up now. There's Dee and Dwayne now.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Just past that little golf course.
Yeah, just past White River, just past the golf course. It's here.
Oh my goodness, yeah, she's like taller than me. I remember when she was in the car seat.
Maddie,
Yeah, that's the last time I saw you. Alright. Sorry about your Raiders. You guys are going to Quantum tonight?
Yeah.
What grade are you in? Wow. Wow. I think that, yeah, I was in grade 10 last time I saw you, which was like 10 years ago. Is Lucas here?
He's gonna be.
Yeah.
You guys get into it. Huh? Oh, you got both? Yeah, like don't put it near my heart. They're at a meeting with the dean at 1, so we're starting with you. But if it gets too high, you guys just open that front door. Oh, yeah. Okay. With the flap on the outside, right? Yeah. Is there any? Or do we just use the clip? That's why the clip is on? We're learning here. We're getting there. Is this okay? Just like that? Okay. I guess I should have did your Arms first. Just that we're lining everybody.
Right outside there. I'm just probably sit over there. Yeah.
The rest?
Oh, yeah.
Stayed a little bit too late playing cards, but we play 31 for instead of quarters. We play at dollars. So pot it up to like $45. Sometimes even more. So it's worth staying. There's enough people we play pool to.
Is it supposed to be mom's office? Mary. There's more. Oh, yeah, I'll go get more. I'll go get more.
Ready for this?
Yeah, right. I know. I had a bad sleep, but I'm like, I'm ready. This is gonna be a good day in closure.
See how I am later.
Yeah, it becomes real laughter.
Yeah.
It's not fun, but you know that feeling.
itchy with this Oilers shit on. Okay. I'm getting
Glad you made it, man.
oldest brother. You're the oldest brother.
Yeah.
I'd like to blanket you. And, well, I mean, yeah. Do you want to take that off?
Oh, no,
I can tie I can retie those. I can change it for you. Okay, one sec. That's okay. You want to take your jacket off? That's okay. You want to get too warm? No. There you go. Take your coat off. Okay. Decorated you. I might pin this one on your front, okay? Okay. I'd like to wrap you. That's okay? Are you okay to stand up for a sec?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a great big hug.
Oh, yeah. A kiss too, right?
I'm really
Yeah.
funny guy. I really enjoy having
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, brother, yeah.
Right? So we have the two.
family you from again?
The Roberts family, Jeff, and my wife Sheridan.
What's Robert?
Where's Robert's?
Oh,
Bossy, I'm really thanking everybody for your patience, your love. What a great feeling to come and see this building get full. People still outside on their way in. Apologize. Maybe we're scrambling a little bit for chairs, but we really were trying to get everybody in here as we can. But it's a great sign of respect and love for our elder and for our family, for everybody to come here and sit. We're about ready to get started here. Thanking the drummers for lifting up the feelings in here. But again, we're going to call upon them to start us off in that good way with that prayer. We'll continue on. Jeez, yum. Again, on behalf of the family, really have their hands up to each and every one of you for coming to share your time with them, sharing this beautiful day, this ceremony for our dear elder here, Ab. Really thankful for all the love and support they've had over the last few days, helping them take one foot in front of the other to get here. This time, I'm going to be calling up our Swally leadership. Come up, welcome the people to the community. So we're asking the chief and council to come up to share a few brief words, thanking people for coming. Yes, yum.
Good morning, everyone. For you of those that don't know me, my name is Brenda Wallace. I'm AB's elected chief. He always made sure he nominated me. But I'm also known him since I was a little girl. And him and my dad had a really close connection. My dad's Percy Wallace. And he's actually one of the honorary pallbearers, but he didn't have it in his heart and he's not well enough to come today. So I have my sister, Kathy Wallace, sitting beside me as a support system. For those that don't know, Ab worked for Sewally, doing a variety of things, alongside me and Robin Kelly, the maintenance manager, for the last almost 18 years. He worked at the cemetery, making sure it was upkept with mowing the lawn and weed eating, making sure it was prepped for all the funerals. He would call me up if it was starting to look bad and made sure he went out and did that. And not only that, he took care of my yard and a lot of other people's yards. I heard that he even went to Kwantlen, and I think I heard about that too. I'm trying to keep strong. I'm doing much better than I did last night. It was a beautiful day last night. I was able to ride with Robin and go to the funeral home and have a last ride home with Ab, and came home, and it was fitting with Robin because him and Ab worked for years doing the garbage run. And sometimes he would make Robin just sit in the car and Ab would go and get the garbage, and some people would talk and Robin would be like, he was making me do this. That's just how he was. And he even worked at the fish hatchery too. We have a contract with the Chilliwack Fish Hatchery, and he went up there years. And it was just seasonal, like October to like January sometimes. And then he took on kind of like a supervisory job. And sometimes he would call me up if he didn't have the right person there. And I heard he did this in logging too. He'd be like, they need to go, Brenda. He'd call me up. So he'd say, they're dog fuckers. And I'd be like, in my head, I started saying, you mean they were making puppies to try to make it nicer? He didn't like that. He kept saying, no, they're dog fuckers. But he had some raunchy jokes, man. He would come up to my office, and sometimes I would think, shh, make sure no one would hear, but then I would laugh with him too, because, you know, Percy Wallace is my dad. And also I'm from the Muscle family. Angel Page is my first cousin. Her mom is my mom's sister. They were sisters. And so David's my first cousin. And I know how much Ab meant to you. And I seen the video last night, and those were amazing pictures. And I didn't know about cookies, but I knew about Denny's because he always talked about steak and eggs. Yeah. He left a big imprint on Sewally, and like I said yesterday, he inspired me, and I'm sure a lot of you, to walk, because he walked everywhere and he biked everywhere. It's gonna be freaking hard to not see him around. It has been hard the last few years to see his health diminish and not be the same Ab, and not being able to go to the fish hatchery, and not being able to mow the lawn. But he always made sure he made you feel like the most beautiful girl in the world. He made sure like you're the most special person in the world. And I thought that was only me, but now that I hear, he made everyone feel that way. But I'll have you know that he did like that I started walking, which I said yesterday, I'm going to start walking more because that's good for your health. But he always came and gave me a knife. And it would always be a cool knife, like a bear on it or a deer, and he'd be like, you need this. And so I have a collection of knives, and I'm not the only one, apparently, that doesn't. So love you guys, and thank you all for coming here. It's so great to see everyone here. I'm going to miss that guy. I'm going to keep the memories. It's been a hard few days. And yeah, safe travels home. And the main thing I come out of it, I was thinking yesterday, is that he was always connected. Like, he was connected to everywhere, like even all the stores, like in Sardis and in downtown Chilliwack and probably Abbotsford and Langley. Like, he knew everyone and touched everyone's souls. And I think during COVID and stuff, we all lost that connection, and I think we have to find that connection and community and love, because that's all we have. So love you guys, and yeah, that's all I have to say. And And it was great to hear the stories yesterday. I have lots of stories to tell, but that's all I can say now.
Good morning, everyone. Just trying to tell me what to say up here. Good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tanya Commodore. I come from the Wallace family of Sewali and the Douglas family of GM. My grandmother is Sophia Prest and the late Terry Prest and Paul Bazayo. It's really good to see everybody. We knew we were going to have a full hall today, and that's how all the preparations were starting to be made. We knew how much people that Ab touched and how connected that he was with everybody. And this is probably not even half the people that if they could be here. We know that there's a few people that are struggling and staying home, whether it's with grief or physical ailments, like not feeling well. There's a lot of things going around, so it's been hard for people to stay together, and hard for a lot of people that are going through their own grief to continue. Sewali's been through a lot of loss in the last few years. I think there's just been far too many times that we've been standing up here and saying our final, taking our ancestors for their final journey. It's been hard. It's been hard on our community, and you can feel it. And I don't think that that's just within Sewali. I think that it's in the Stalo territory altogether, and I don't know how much further reach it has, but I know there's a lot of people that are grieving and having a really hard time. So despite what you might be going through, whether it's your physical or emotional things, I appreciate you coming out here to be with the family today, because the last few days, this family here has been really strong in the things that they've done. It's been amazing to see the strength that they've had and coming together and sitting down and talking through the things that needed to be done to take care of Ab. You know, it all came from their hearts, and I'm really proud of all of you and everything, all the strength that you've been able to pull together to honor your dad, your papa, and make sure that everything is taken care of for him. And I have a few different stories. I shared a few last night about playing pool with him. He taught me some tricks, and that was great. I do also have some knives from him. He brought a different one all the time, especially if he saw you walking down the road, because he get worried about the ladies in our community walking down the road without any kind of protection and stuff. And I'd say, well, I have you, you're my protection. So I forgot.
Oh yeah.
There's so many different stories that I could tell. There's a few that just stay close to my heart. There's, I like talking about tattoos with him. He showed me all of his. He was real proud of his Oilers tattoo that he had. His rose one, and I told him that I was gonna go get a rose tattoo, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I better go with you. Better go make sure that you're okay." And I said, "Sure, that'd be great." So he comes with me down there, and I'm getting the tattoo, and I don't know, I guess I didn't look like I was in enough pain or something. He goes, "Oh fuck, holy, you're a tough girl." I said, "Am I supposed to cry or something?" He goes, "No, fuck, you're tough." He's like, I just came to make sure. He would always say these things to us and make sure that we were taken care of. And going through some of this planning for Ab and the road that he took, it reminds me of just recently what my grandfather went through. Everything about being an independent man, the way that he was so strong. And he talked about that. And I think he was the same age as my grandfather when he left as well. So some of this has just been touching really close to home and the way that things are, and just connecting on him on a different level. And he really taught all of us so much different things within the community. And like everybody said, not just Sewally, but Cultus Lake community, the Chilliwack community. He touched everybody in some way or another, whether it's a story or a kind gesture, or giving you the change or the money out of his pocket, giving you the shirt off his back, gifting you knives. He did all of these things, and he always did it with so much love that when you were looking at him and talking to him, he really meant it. He wasn't just saying the things, you know, you feel like some people say the words, but the meaning isn't there. And with him, when you heard his words, he truly meant what he was saying. He would be there for anybody. And I think that he's probably looking at how handsome he's dressed up here. Sewally got him a nice blanket, and Kwantlen got him one too. So I think he's looking real handsome up here. So we did it half and half, so it would show appreciating Kwantlen coming forward because of connection with his wife. All the help that you guys are coming forward with is overwhelming, and it's appreciated in so many ways. Because sometimes I feel like when we're going through this stuff, I'm still learning and learning and learning. And when you came forward with the different things today, I don't know how I can express how much that's appreciated. So thank you for everything that you guys have been doing in the background as well. When this picture was taken, we were at, because he came to all of our functions, this was for a Father's Day barbecue. And he was standing on the deck, and he just looked so peaceful standing there. And I walked up from behind on the other side of the deck, and I was walking up, and he was just standing there looking real peaceful. So I pulled out my camera, and I said, "Hey, handsome." And he turned around, and that was the look that he gave me. This one is just, it's really hard. This one is hard to accept because we all saw him everywhere. He was all over the place with everybody. And I'm not sure how actually, I do know how we get through this. We get through this together. You know, we're going to hold each other up, and we're going to be there for each other, because they say that after you leave today, that's when the hard part starts. That's when you go home. And everybody needs to stay connected to each other and keep checking in with each other. So I thank all of you for taking the time out of your day to be here, to come here, to be in Ab's community. So this is his community, Sewally. So thank you all for being here to support the family and do what you do. Thank you.
Daryl Commodore, one of the council members here for Sewally. I just really want to thank each and every one of you for coming and welcoming each and every one of you for coming today, making the travel to be with our family that sits up front today. Yes, yeah.
Morning, my name is Marcella Commodore, and a new traditional name is Iowa. And I too just want to put my hands up to everyone for being here today and walking with the family. And the app had touched so many people, and I will miss him. And I was thinking about everything shared last night, and one of the thoughts that came to me was his hugs. And sometimes those hugs just meant way more than he knew. That there's days that he came in at the right time that I needed it, and I'll always be grateful for that. And thank you all for sharing your dad, your papa, your uncle. You know, he just touched so many people, so many, and a blessing. You know, he is truly blessed to have him, and we were too.
Really thanking Swally leadership coming up and standing, welcoming the people to the community, reminiscing, explaining our dear elder's role in the community, how his presence was very strong in our community, whether it's through personal relationships or just being an employee of the community or even working for free for the community on his own behalf. That's important to remember, that we don't see those teachings too much anymore, where people just volunteer to do stuff anymore without taking any talent. And he showed us a different way. So I'm thanking leadership for coming up, welcoming everybody. Just want to introduce myself. My name is Squahil Jason Roberts. I'm from Chiacto. I've lived in Swally for 30 years. I'm also from Chalathol and Tulalip and Stagalis and Scowlitz. I'm from everywhere. I feel good about that. I feel very honored to be up here to be the voice of our family sitting up front here, and also to be the voice for our elder. It was told to me before he had passed that he kept asking for me to come sit up here and be the voice for his family and for himself. And I was very honored. I'm very honored to be up here. And it's very grateful to see everybody that's here to join the family. You know, he was a big part of every community, not just our own. And it shows in here. We have a lot of our own people, our Huamos people, but we have also people from outside the community, and we've heard these prayers and comments and love sent to the family from all parts of Chilliwack. And I think that's important to point out, that he reached really far. Want to explain things the best I can of how we do our protocols here and how we do this for our people and the ceremony that we do. Want to identify the people that are covered up front here. The people that are covered up front with that blanket, the way they're covered is different than the way I'm covered. I'm covered as a worker. I'm asked here to do a job. They're covering my heart and my mind, the family covering me. That's how we see a couple of us in here, we're working. But then you see the family sitting up here and they're covered with an honor style. So even you see the ones that are covered in the honor style, that identifies them as the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren. These are the people that need that extra love. Grateful for the ones, the communities that came, the families that came and said, this is how it needs to be done. We need to cover them. We don't do it to keep them warm. We do it to keep them full of love. We're hugging them. That's what it's being shown. They're being hugged right now as they're being covered. That's going to hold them up a little bit longer. That's what this family sitting here, they're covered. The ones that are covered with the honor styles. To identify them, show them that they're being loved. Others, you're going to see the bands on their arms. They're the ones that were chosen to be honorary pallbearers and pallbearers. My understanding is my dear elder chose these people. He had a plan ahead of time. He sat with his family and made some choices and how he wanted things done. So identifying the ones that are sitting up front, they were asked to be here. Our pallbearers are usually our arms and legs for our loved one, and they start with our walk. They're asked to be the arms and the legs. And our honorary ones are the ones that were a piece of his life, a friend, a co-worker. Those are the people that are chosen to be honoraries. They're identified with the armbands. The drummers are all covered there. They were asked to be here. Great medicine. Very thankful for our drummers, because what they do is when they drum and they sing that song at the beginning, they're letting us know that we're going to start. But what they also do is let the spirits know that we're starting to come in and join us and sit with us. They say one of those songs might be one person, two people in this building right now that are trying to be too strong. But one of those songs they sing is going to crack them open and let the tears go. And I think that's a beautiful thing that our drummers have, that medicine they carry. We continue to use them throughout the day and throughout this process, this ceremony. So on behalf of the family, I know their hands go up to each and every one of you for coming here and sharing this time. We talk about ceremony. You know, our dear uncle, our relative here, ceremony started the moment he took his last breath. His last breath, very happy for him. Got to do that at home under his own roof. How lucky. We all wish we could be that lucky to be at home, to take that last breath, to feel safe and loved by your family. That's where he was when he took that last breath. We know he had some struggles leading up to it, but he stayed as long as he could before it was time. That time, that's when our ceremony starts working. That's when the people start bringing out their gifts of singing and coming to the family, holding them up, bringing the food. That time, he had a drummer and a singer with him. As they start to move him and get him ready to move to when the coroner gets there, the drums are already doing their medicine, and they take him and they drum him the whole way to calm his waters. So at that time, his ceremony started. People started to show up to the home, bringing food, bringing wood for the fire. They lit the fire at the home. That fire had stayed lit each day. That is a fire for our dear relative. They say that fire is a beacon of light, just like these candles. During that time, when he passes away, when he takes that last breath, he's surrounded by his relatives, his wife, his grandchildren, his mom and dad, grandparents. They're all standing around with him. And then at that point, they start bringing him around to show him the way of the other side. Start transitioning him. He starts to walk around. They say they pick up little pieces of himself over all his travels, wherever it took him. That's important for our elder. He went to so many places. He traveled to so many people's homes and communities, walking and biking. That was an important piece of who he was. And I feel happy for him because he got to do it with his family from the other side for a short time, go collect himself. But then they also say he goes and visits his family, maybe the ones that couldn't be here, the ones that are too far. And he goes and tells them, I'm going to be all right. I'm doing good. I'm not alone. So that's when his work started, the fire. He's allowed to walk around at a certain time, but at a certain time, he's got to go home every night, every day. And that beacon of light shows him where home is, and they bring him home until he could wander again. So the family is really grateful for all the ones in the past few days that brought food and sat with them. They watched the fires and stayed up all night, making sure that fire didn't go out. That fire is sacred. They don't throw garbage in there or nothing because that fire is a beacon of his light. But they're really thankful for those people that came during these days and sat with them. We also believe that fire is important for the family too. Because at night, when sometimes your mind is running too much, you're hurting and you're crying and you can't sleep, you know somebody's outside sitting with the fire and you can go sit with them anytime. Someone's there all the time with the family, watching the fire. So I'm really thankful on behalf of the family for all the work that came forward in the days leading up. Yesterday, we all gathered at the Woodlawn Funeral Home, and it was beautiful because there was a lot of people that came to enjoy the last ride. We call that the last ride. Family, friends, pallbearers, and drummers all showed up at the funeral home to go start his walk. Wanted to express that was the last walk he was going to take here in our community back to here. And we all got to participate and join that walk with him. At that time, the family decided they were going to do a viewing at the funeral home. Very, very emotional, as it should be, for a man that was so important to his family, that had such a great legacy, became a legend. But when they opened him up, it was to see how beautiful he was dressed and how well he was taken care of. But it also allowed a little bit of that cry to come out. That cry is such a medicine, allowing them to take one more step in front of the other, getting to this today. We then used our drummers once again, our pallbearers that were there, the young men that came forward and started his walk. They drove him through Chilliwack. They wanted to bring him by the Husky, where he frequented and had his meals there, his breakfast. And I believe there was a thrift store they wanted to bring him by. I think they went close to it. I know the ladies, from what I heard, the ladies from the thrift store came out, but they didn't get to see him. But spirit and a hug goes a long way. It's all that matters. Got him back here using our way of life. Our drummers brought him in and rested him here. He was never been alone since. We've never left him alone. He's had somebody here to sit with him the whole time since. Last night we had a beautiful service. Came in and opened the floor last night. We had a beautiful reading of some words of eulogy and notes from the family. But what we believe in, when we open the floor up here, it's called a living eulogy, allowing the people to come in and share the floor. Today, the family has 4 speakers in mind. The floor will not be open today, though, for open floor. But that does not mean you cannot share afterwards. You can still sit with the family and tell them your stories and your love and your memories. We try not to live too fast with protocol, but we do have to live by protocol when it comes to the spirit. One of my Knuts, one of my dads would say, try not to be in too much of a rush when we're dealing with our loved ones. What's our big rush to shoo them out the door? Let's take the time and be with them as long as we can. I understand that we live under a timeline, but still, let's don't be too much of a rush. And I think that's what last night was. The floor was open. We allowed that time. But for today's sake, we still got to walk a little bit quicker. Our elder here in the communities of Chilliwack, Abbotsford, Langley, wherever he went, left a lasting impression, a legacy. He's forever going to be remembered. He's got his own legend. And last night it was awesome because it was so many great jokes in here and all these memories and all the laughter. I said it felt like we're just sitting around and BSing with one another, remembering all his crazy things he did. Some of them are really crazy. And it's exactly, you can see on his smile how it's that shitty grin that he gives, right? So that is an important part of the life that he left with us. There's all sorts of things that come out during these ceremonies and these days. We remember our loved one, but we also remembered all the things that he left with us, that humor, the things how to be. I was saying last night, not too many people nowadays go just visit other people's homes, walk to a random stranger on the road and stop them and just start talking to them. Ab was always forever known for that. Stop a stranger, hit them on the chest and start talking to them. On the Cultus Lake residence page, there was a ton of comments on there when they announced his passing on there. And that showed that he reached outside our community, and all they kept talking about was how much they loved his stories. I was saying maybe 1 and 2 of those people were having a bad day, and Ab walked along and gave them a good day. And that's a teaching on its own that he left with all of us, with his family here, to try and continue that for him. Don't be afraid to walk up to a stranger and shake their hand and give them a story, because you never know, they might need it that one day. But that's the lessons that we learned from this person, this legend, this legacy that he carried, and how it's each and every one of his family now, and all of us walk around with our head held high and be able to extend our hand and shake everybody's hand and say hi. Today's day and age, we don't do that anymore too much. We have social media that gives us those shortcuts. But he would travel. He would take his bike. He would go for a walk and go visit people. That is something that we could all learn by and live by now. That's what's in all of us. So I thank our elder for what he left with us. Said last night, thank his family. On behalf of myself and everybody here, thank his family for sharing him with us. That's what you did. You allowed him to be with us and how great he was for you. But we all got to benefit from that presence as well, those teachings. I just want to, again, thank everybody for your love and support and respect to the family that's sitting up here. To our dear elder, show him the respect of wearing so much Edmonton Oilers in here. I really hope he's looking down, just loving that. It's a great feeling. Hopefully he got to watch Connor McDavid score the other night.
That was okay. For Canada.
But we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on. We're going to invite a couple of people up here today that were selected to come share. We're going to have a video. We're also going to have another viewing before our dear elder departs us. So at this time, I'm going to be asking Valerie Sutherland O'Connell to come up and share on behalf of a little love and encouragement. Love to the family. Yes, yeah.
My name is Valerie O'Connell. I belong to the Beaver Clan, Laktamasi, Nakaxley, Fort St. James, but I grew up here. Ab's mother and father adopted my mother when she came to Chilliwack with 7 children and hardly any money in her pocket and terrified to start this new life. Josephine and Mike said, "Stick with us, kid, you'll be okay." Josephine got a hold of Sweetie Malloway, Teresa Jimmy, Genevieve Muscle, and they formed an alliance that was unbreakable till they all left. I'm so thankful to have known your papa, your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your brother. He was an older brother to us when we were growing up. We used to joke about how the Jimmy family at Squayala and the Kelly family at Suwali and the Douglas family at Shiam, and how we all kind of had children that matched in age. So we were like our own little gangs, if you will. But I wanted to share with you that one of the things that I thought about on the way here today was we've lost an ambassador. He was just an ambassador of kindness no matter where he went, who he spoke to. And even though he liked to swear at Blue Street, he never swore at you. He just swore. I would joke with him about it, and he said, "It's emphasis, Val, it's emphasis." Okay. But he had such a kind heart. And I think when you're missing him, you're longing for him. You just need to turn around and look in his children's eyes or his grandchildren's eyes, and you'll see him there. And it's really important while you're in this tender time to make sure that you hold each other up. And it's okay to cry. It's part of your job. That's your only job right now, is to grieve. It's up to the rest of us to hold you up. It didn't matter where I went in the world, and I've traveled far, worked far for many years away in Ontario, came home. But Ab always made you felt like he just saw you yesterday. He didn't admonish you for the time or distance between you. He just would say, "Hey kid, there you are. Got time for coffee?" Always made time for coffee with Ab. And the love that he showed his his beautiful wife. We all aspired to that long-lasting friendship that they had, not just the love, but the friendship that they forged and the family they created. So I'm really honored that you asked me to stand up here and say a few words. And I want you to know how much he meant to our family. On behalf of my family, I stand here and offer up my shoulder, my heart, and an arm anytime you want to talk. Because like I said last night, our families are tied together for life. My mom used to joke before she left that she was more Stalo than she was Carrier. But thank you all for being here for the family, for holding them up and helping them through this grief. I think it's really important for you all to understand that one of the things that I realized sitting next to Tanny, it's been too long since I just leaned in and said, thanks for being part of my life. Thank you for knowing me. Thank you for bringing me some laughter. And thank you for being a friend. And I didn't get to say that to him, and I'm sorry I didn't. But that's a lesson that he leaves behind for all of us. To take the time to connect with one another. Call up your mom, call your dad while you still have them. Say, I love you, I miss you. Call your sister, go for a coffee. And if you do that for Ab, he'll be happy because he traveled everywhere. I remember one day traveling into Chilliwack to do something, and I saw him riding his bike, waved at him, and went about my way, and then I had to go to Abbotsford, and I was doing a bunch of stuff. And there he was again, and I was, hold on a second, what's going on? It just felt like he was everywhere you looked, and that was just the beauty of him because he was. So on behalf of my family, thank you for sharing him with us for all these years. He was a great big brother, even though he wasn't a brother by blood. So must thank you.
Thanking our elder for coming up and sharing. Really important to allow our elders an opportunity to stand on these floors and share. They show us that they've been through a lot in their life and they're still here standing. They've been through this and they know how to get through it. And they come up here and show us they're a pillar of that strength. So it's important to allow our elders that time on the floor to share that teachings and that love. We want to ask the elders or the drummers to share a song at this time before we continue on. was mentioned, I mentioned before that last night the floor was left open, allowing people to come share their stories, share their love. Today, 4 people from the family has asked to come forward, share a little bit on the floor, share that love and respect, still wanting to have some of the teachings that come out during this time to be shared. So I'll be calling 4 people. Our dear elder, Jim, he'll be number 1, but he'll also be reading the eulogy and notes from the family. He'll be number 1. Mike James be number 2. Saston Book be number 3. And Theokoto be number 4. So we'll leave the floor to our speakers to come up and share. Invite our elder up. Easy up.
Swahil, Sam, thank you, nephew, for being the voice for the family. Want to thank the family, my family, our huge family, for asking me to do this for you. Or maybe thank your dad for asking me to do this. Want to thank the Quantland family. They're worried my hot air would get cold, so they covered me. Wanted to make sure my hot air warmed everybody up. Put you to sleep before lunch, I don't know. But thank you. Want everybody to know about our family tree, and it's incomplete. But on that wall over there, you'll see there's a long piece of paper. So all you young ones here, you teenagers, you go look. I don't want to have to go and bawl you out for being kissing cousins. Our family's huge and we're spread out all over the place. And you're going to hear stories about Kelly Van while they're true for the most part. Especially when we talk about Ab. So I'm going to do the reading first. The family is worried I'd go on and on and on, so they made me write it. Smart family. And then some of the family members wanted me to read notes on their behalf, so I'll do that. When I finish that, I'm going to share some teachings and words of encouragement that I picked up along my journey. Eulogy for Albert Mervyn Kelly, Ab. He had aliases, Big Daddy, Lardass, and one he gave himself, Abdu. He was feeling a little out of sorts, and his beloved Rose was saying, Ab, do this. Ab, do that. And so he was telling my brothers, I think I'm going to change my name to Abdu. A week ago, in this building, our family gathered here to celebrate our beloved Uncle Bunk. It's way too soon to be gathering again. Since last Saturday morning, we've been coming together at Ab's house, the fire, and with one another to share tears of sorrow, tears of joy, and laughter from beautiful memories. Today, we will share some of Ab's stories, his very colorful language, and most of all, our deep love for Ab. Today, we draw medicine of love and laughter from one another as we let go of our sorrow in favor of expressing our deep gratitude for Albert Mervyn Kelly. In loving memory, Albert Ab Kelly, sunrise, March 19th, 1941, sunset, February 22nd, 2025, predeceased by his beloved wife, Rose Kelly, daughter, Chantel Tilly Villardo, grandparents, Francis and Josephine Kelly, parents, Mike and Josephine Kelly, Brothers, Len Fisher Sr. and William Michael Kelly Jr., sister, Kathy Roberts, and all of his favorite uncles, Bob, Tommy, Russell, Shorty, Harry, Gordon, and Lloyd. Ab is survived by his son Mervyn, Marilyn, daughters Gonzo, Mary, Carrie, and Aubrey, Kathy. Hey, somebody changed it. I had Fat Cat in here. Kevin, grandchildren, David, Michelle, and his mom, Angel Bage, and sisters, Darcy Saunders Bage and Cassandra Bage, Jagger Kelly, Cheyenne Kelly, Cody Kelly, Dallas Ferlardo, Juliet, Ryan McDonald, Lindsay, Travis Ferlardo, Rosie Ferlardo, John, David Ferlardo, Chelsea, Quinanan, Ciso, Kendall Ferlardo, great-grandchildren, Lucas Kelly, Addison Kelly, Taylor Ferlardo, Dane Ferlardo, Skylar Ferlardo, Jer, Oakley, Connor, Gordy, adopted grandkids, Ellie and her children, Ben, Mara, Leah, and second son, Brent Perry. Brothers, Wayne Kelly Sr., Gina, Kevin Kelly Sr., Marilyn. Somebody changed that one too. It said, she who must be obeyed when I wrote it. Patrick, Arlene, she who must also be obeyed. Or you'll hear about it. That got changed too. Howard and sister Diane Kelly Anderson. In 1959 or so, Uncle Russ and Ab went to a dance at the old Atchlitz Hall. Ab saw Rose for the first time. He pointed her out to Uncle Russell and told him that he was going to ask Rose to be his girlfriend. Russ doubted him. Ab was up to it and bet him a beer. Ab won the bet. He went over to Rose and told her that she was beautiful and that he wanted to be her boyfriend. Rose asked him if he was Ab Kelly. He confirmed it, and she agreed to be his girlfriend on one condition. Ab had to walk her home and meet her mother, Dorothy. Ab walked Rose home and into his life. From those not born into Suwalli, it can be an adjustment. My mom experienced that transition. My mom, Rose, and Gina often shopped together. There were very few cars on Suwalli in those days. And so carpooling was a big thing in Suwalli back in the 1960s. My mom and Ab took turns calling one another at bedtime. We lived on opposite sides of the slough. Mom would call Ab and ask him to shut the frogs up. Those weren't the exact words, but they were pretty close. They were too loud, and she was trying to sleep. After Dad died, my mom, siblings, and I came upon hard times. Ab always encouraged me. He told me that my job as the eldest son was to protect my mom. He encouraged me to overcome my fears and be strong for Mom. After Dad passed, as a kid growing up, there's all kinds of events for father's sons. And for some, when we lose our dad, it's a hard time, a really hard time. I never went through those hard times. Ab stepped in. He always went with me. It didn't matter what it was. A dinner, a celebration, an event, he was there. We were not the only family to benefit from Ab's deep love of family. When Rose's brother and sister-in-law passed, Angie and Fat Cat lived with their grandparents in Yucca or their auntie and uncle at Suwalli. Ab and Rose took in Tilly and raised her as their daughter. Ab carried a deep love for his family. As I visited with others to prepare this eulogy, I learned that Ab would buy pocket knives for his girls. Plural, girls. Some of you were under the impression that you were the only one. He would tell you now if he could, there was only one. Her name was Rose. Just so we're clear. I can hear Rose. Where was I learned that he wanted to have them some protection if they needed it. He wanted all the women in his family and life to be safe. Ab was 20 years older than some of his younger cousins, but he was the biggest kid in Kellyville. He loved playing road hockey with us. We usually played between his house and his dad's house because the porch lights gave us lights to play by. The game ended when we lost the ball deep in the blackberries and bush. At other times, Rose would holler out the door that it was time for the kids to come in. Ab would beg for more time. When Rose had enough, she made it clear to Ab, Ab, the game's over. And the game was over. As kids, we played war. At first, we used toy guns. Then we began to use slingshots and rocks. Then Ab wanted to make sure his son won. And he bought Mervyn a pump-action pellet gun. So those of us that couldn't afford a pump-action pellet gun, we switched from rocks to Cobbs and Steelies. Remember that, Kev? We used ice cream buckets. You remember those plastic buckets? That's what we wore as helmets. Looking back, I'm amazed that we never suffered serious injuries. I really am. Ab was proud to be a Kelly. He was a hard-working man. He worked hard to take care of his family, and on payday, he was a proud man when he signed his check over to Rose. And Rose would give him a little bit of allowance. And he was happy to spend that on beer, shooting pool, buying knives for his girls, watches, and watch bands. Ab loved working in the mountains with his uncles and family. He was proud to be a hook tender. Though in the bush, it was shortened to hooker. Mary was in grade 1 at St. Mary's in Chilliwack, a Catholic day school. Her teacher asked her what her parents did. So she told the teacher that her mom, Rose, answered the phone in the St. Mary's school office. When asked about her dad, she replied that he was a hooker. The grade 1 teacher at Catholic school took offense. She made Mary go with her to the office and tell her mom what she said. Rose had a difficult time not laughing. She told the teacher that Mary was right. Her dad was a hook tender, but it's often referred to as a hooker. For those of you that know Mary, when she got home, she told her dad she was mad at him. He got her into trouble. Ab worked on Suwali on different projects. Some of the homes that are just over this direction, he cleared the lots. He loved working for Suwali. It didn't matter what it was. He would take it on. He would do it happily. He was the boss. And he wasn't shy about making the crew work hard. And if you weren't prepared to work hard, you had to find another job somewhere else. When Suwali took over harvesting of surplus fish at the Chilliwack River Hatchery in around 2001, Ab found his second calling. He loved working at that hatchery. He bossed that place around just like he bossed everybody else. And he loved working with Todd at the hatchery. And then when I think Todd found another job, so he started working with Grant. Ab took pride in maintaining the Suwalli Cemetery. He'd walk his mower and gas truck down to the cemetery and maintain it. He held our loved ones on the other side in high regard. He was happy to keep their final resting place well maintained. Ab measured Kelly's in interesting ways. He loved it when his nephews would get flat tops and really high and tight. Just loved it. He'd go like this. Now that's a haircut! The other way that he took a measure of a Kelly man was by their Kelly belly. Some of us look around at us. Some of us are more gifted than others. I won't mention any names. Merv, Kevin, Patty.
And Doug.
Anyway, there's one time you see these pictures where Ab's saluting people, but just with one finger. Well, one day he must have been not well, but he was on recovery. He was in recovery and he was out walking. And I pulled up beside him and went, "Hey." And I jumped out of the truck and I said, "What's going on with you?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Aren't you a Kelly anymore?" "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I see the haircut. Where's the belly?" And he burst out laughing. Ab loved playing pool. He had many cues, his own cues. He loved showing them off. And he loved to play in local leagues and tournaments. He loved playing pool with Nelson, Bia, and Tanya. Ab told Tanya that she could be a pool shark like her grandmother, Safina. The things you find out about elders. Yeah. I didn't know that sweet little old lady was a pool shark. Did you? No. Ab's letting secrets out. When Ab invited Tanya to join his team, she didn't take him seriously. She only took him seriously when Nelson showed up at her house and started honking on the horn, and Ab jumped out and banged on her door and asked if she was ready to go. Mary let her dad know about the passing of Uncle Bunk. Ab said that Bunk was my favorite uncle. He told Mary that he wanted to attend the celebration of life for Bunk. He was sad to hear that he missed it. When Mary showed those words with me, I said that Wayne had shared the same words about Uncle Bunk. When Dad passed, Wayne and Ab told me that my dad was their favorite uncle. Kelly men are full of something, and it may not be what you think it is. When Wayne and Ab told me that my dad was their favorite uncle, it was true. When Wayne and Ab told me that Uncle Bunk was their favorite uncle, it was true. So full of love and gratitude, Wayne and Ab expressed their love for their uncles. Kelly men carry a lot of love in them, in their hearts and in other places, that they easily have more than one favorite uncle. Ab loved playing soccer. Ab and Wayne coached the Suwalli kids in Kingsman soccer. And somehow we adopted some locals. Brent Perry became a Kelly by association. Bill Snow, his brother Alan Snow, they were with us all the time. I was telling Brent, man, he was rotten when he joined us. I think we made him worse. John Edmondson was also a big part of our teams. Ab and Wayne put a Suwalli team in Division 3 of the Fraser Valley League. The team raised funds by holding dances at the old log cabin. Typical of dances of that area, no dancing without beer, no beer without fights. I had the job to break the fights up. Although I had a fight a time or two myself. Can't do it anymore. The Suwali team played in tournaments hosted by neighboring villages. Years ago, I estimate about 140 pounds ago for me, Suwali played the Chehalis Golden Eagles. I was 19, and Ab pointed out Cat Pennier, and he said, "You see that guy?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You check him. Every time he hits the 18, knock him down. If you don't, he's going to score on us." So I did my best. And if you know Cat, my right leg's bigger than Cat. And so I did. I knocked him down every time he hit the 18. I missed once. Guess how much we lost by? 1-0. Guess who scored that damn goal? That darn Cat. Ab never let me forget it. Ab loved cycling. He rode his bike all over Suwali, Cultus Lake, Chilliwack. His longest trip had him going from Suwali through Sumas, through Abbotsford, and then to Mission. He went on the Lougheed Highway through Lacamel, Skowlitz, went past the Ailus and into Agassiz. He didn't care for the Agassiz-Rosedale Bridge. There's not much room for people on bikes. And then he made his way from Rosedale. He made it home. Ab loved to walk. He had regular pit stops and often visited Trish at the Cultus Post Office. Then he visited Val at the Esso gas station. Local residents in Cultus and Vetter got to know and love Ab. His smile, gentle teasing, stories, and jokes won over complete strangers easily. Our respected elders teach us that every human being carries at least one gift. It's our job in life to discover our gift. When we make that discovery, we then set out to learn everything there is to learn about that gift. As we learn, we practice that gift for the benefit of others in our family, community, and nation. Today, we're here to celebrate the life of a man blessed with the biggest and kindest heart. Ab was full of love. He loved Rose, his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. He was a hooker and a hard-working man. He was a family man. He carried a deep love for his mom, a true mama's boy, like most Kellys. He loved his DNA family and his family by choice. Ab was known for being a storyteller. He told ribald and raunchy jokes. He always had a smile for family and complete strangers. Never shy on his walk. He loved to get on the bus and take it wherever it took him. I'm not sure that Mary and Gonzo appreciated not knowing where he was. Sometimes he'd make a little phone call and they'd have to drive out to Surrey or drive out to Langley or drive out to wherever the bus took him. Albert, we celebrate you for all the joy, laughter, and love that you brought to each and every one of us. You are loved and you will be missed. We are comforted to know that you'll be reunited with your beloved wife, your parents, and all of your favorite uncles. From Mervyn, remembering a remarkable man, we gather here today to celebrate the life of my father, Albert Kelly, known many as Ab, Big Daddy, and affectionately Lardass, and more recently, Abdu. He was a man of boundless generosity, humor, and love. His presence in our lives was a gift that we cherished and will continue to remember with fondness and gratitude. Albert, or Ab as he was known to his friends, was a man who wore many hats: a loving husband, a dedicated father, grandfather, a loyal friend, and a respected community member. Each role he played with authenticity and sincerity, that endeared him to everyone he met. His laughter was a balm to the soul, his advice a guiding light, and his love a fortress in which we all found warmth and comfort. As Big Daddy, he was the cornerstone of our family. His wisdom and strength were the pillars that supported us through thick and thin. He taught us the value of hard work, the importance of integrity, and the power of a kind word. His stories, often told with a twinkle in his eye and a chuckle in his voice, were lessons wrapped in humor, imparting both knowledge and joy. Even his lardass, a nickname born from his larger-than-life personality and his love for hearty meals, he embraced it with that kind of self-deprecating humor that was so quintessentially him. It was never the size of his waistline that defined him, but the size of his heart. He had an uncanny ability to make everyone feel seen and valued, and his generous spirit touched countless lives. Dad's legacy is one of love, laughter, and unwavering support. He faced life challenges with courage and grace, always putting the needs of others before his own. His strength was not just in physical presence, but in his unyielding commitment to his family and friends. He showed us how to live fully, love deeply, and laughed often. We will miss his bear hugs, his playful teasing, and his comforting words. But most of all, we'll miss the way he made us feel loved, cherished, and never alone. In our memories, Dad will forever be the guiding star, illuminating our past with his wisdom and his love. Dad, you've left an indelible mark on our hearts. Your spirit will live on in our stories, our laughter, and the lessons you have taught us. Thank you for being our rock, our hero, our friend. Rest in peace, knowing that you are loved beyond measure and missed beyond words. We love you, Dad, forever in our hearts. So, Dad, go and have your dance with Mom, the love of your life. I'm sure she already has you on the dance floor with her loving smile. Your son, Merv. From Gonzo. You know, sometimes nicknames stick. Last night I was looking at Gonzo and I was going, what's your given name? It came to me, but man, it sucks getting old. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate the life of my dad, Albert Ab Kelly. It's hard to find the words to say goodbye to someone who meant so much to me, but I wanted to share some memories and what he's meant to me over the years, especially in the past few years since Mom passed in 2018. After losing Mom, Dad and I found new ways to spend time together. We'd often go out for drives, and sometimes with no destination in mind, just enjoying the scenery and each other's company. We'd go for breakfast or lunch, and those outings gave Dad a chance to open up. He missed Mom deeply, and those conversations let him share stories, memories, and feelings about her, his parents, and life. Those times together are the ones that I will always hold close to my heart. One thing that always stood out about Dad was how supportive he was. No matter what, he was always there for me, especially when it came to soccer. Whether I was playing on a women's team or filling in on a men's team, I could always count on seeing him on the sidelines, cheering me on. His support meant the world to me, and those moments will always be a part of the memories I carry with me. Another special tradition that we shared was watching wrestling together. It was our little ritual, full of laughs, commentary, and those quiet, comfortable moments that say so much without needing many words. While saying goodbye is never easy, I take comfort in knowing that Dad is no longer suffering. He's at peace now, reunited with his mom and the rest of his loved ones who went before him. I like to imagine them together again, smiling and watching over us. Dad, thank you for the love, the memories, and the time we shared. I will miss you always, but I know you are where you wanted to be. Back with Mom. Rest easy. I love you, Gonzo. When I did this role for Uncle Bunk, I did the eulogy as well. And Tanya printed documents my old eyes couldn't manage. So I made a comment about large fonts. So David accommodated me. David said, Doug, I put it in big font so you can read it. LOL. Thank you, nephew. There's so many things I should say about my papa. So many stories. Some are incredible, others a bit inappropriate, but that's part of what made him so special. There's one story, though, that I hold especially close to my heart. It happened around 1985 or 1986 when I was about 5 or 6 years old. Before that time, I remember weekends at the soccer fields or at my grandparents' place where there was always a party. Papa was known for having a good time. One weekend, something happened that upset me, though I don't remember exactly what it was. I just remember talking to him the next morning and telling him that he had scared me. That conversation changed everything. He made me a promise that day that he would never drink again. And he kept that promise for the rest of his life. From that moment on, he dedicated his weekends to spending time with me. We'd go to the movies, go for drives, grab candy or ice cream, whatever it was always him and me. Later on, it became 3 of us, Papa, Chantel, and me, our little trio that went everywhere together. Papa didn't even have a driver's license, but that never stopped him from taking us out. We'd often go through roadblocks, and the officers would ask if they had anything to drink that night. Papa would reply, nope, I haven't touched a drop in, and fill in the number. He'd rattle off whatever period of time that had been since he had his last drink of alcohol. They waved him through. There was one time, though, we pulled up to a roadblock, and instead of asking about drinks, the officer requested his driver's license. That time, we weren't so lucky. They had us pull over and wait on the side of the road until my Dai, Grandma Rose, came to pick us up. It was just one of those classic Papa moments that still makes me smile. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that I fully realized how much that decision shaped my childhood. That promise he made to a 5 or a 6-year-old boy gave me countless memories I'll cherish forever. For the past 6 years, we started out our weekly outings again, and I will miss our breakfast at Cookies. I'll miss listening to every one of your stories. You were full of them. That's the other thing Kelly's are full of. We're full of lots of things. And no one will ever compare to your gift of storytelling. Every time I get that, it'll remind me of you, and it'll remind me to keep listening. Thank you, Papa, for being an amazing role model, for teaching me how to love and cherish family, and showing me the importance of having a sense of humor. You showed your love by always being there, ready to drop almost anything whenever someone needed you. I could not have asked for a better upbringing. I love you, Papa. David. From Robin. If you are sensitive, and by sensitive, I know that's hard if you're in a room full of Kellys, but if you are still sensitive after being in a room full of Kellys and foul language offends you, here's that warning. Not sure if it's PG or restricted or what rating we call it, But either cover your ears or forgive me after I finish reading this next one. Those are the choices. No complaints. This is from Robin, not me, although I'm going to have fun reading it. When working with Ab, we were doing the garbage run, and as we were leaving the Bailey dump, I mentioned to Ab to look up in the sky because there was a huge bird in the sky. He had a long stare at it, and he looked at me, and he said, "You fucking asshole, it's a fucking crow." I laughed so hard that I started to have an asthma attack. And then he said, "That's what you get for teasing me." Another time we were cleaning out the culvert and we couldn't get it cleaned and unplugged because the beavers had plugged it up so deep inside the culvert. We ended up crawling through the other end so that we could pull sticks, rocks, and weeds apart. Rose wasn't there to boss him around. Uncle Harry wasn't there to straighten him out. We didn't realize that that dam would start to burst free and we were still inside the culvert. The water was pushing him at the same time as he was pushing me to hurry up. But as we all know, that water moves a lot faster than him and I could crawl out. As we made our way to the end of the culvert, the water pushed us out and Albert landed right on top of me. We were soaked. Uncle Harry came over to see why we were in the water. We told him the reason, and knowing Uncle Harry, he said, "You stupid bastards, you could have been killed trying to unplug his culvert." We didn't do that again. They're slow learners, but they learn. Once we were checking the dike area, we were in the river checking the bar for garbage, because back before Sewally had electric gates, there'd be people from off the res throwing their garbage out there. As we didn't find any, we started to make our way back to the office. I told Ab to make sure he buckled up because I have to step on the gas and to get up that little hill. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yes," but Ab didn't believe me. I gunned it, and Ab hit his head on the ceiling and bounced around. When we reached the top of that tiny hill, he was on my lap, and he says, "I didn't believe you, you fucker." I couldn't stop laughing at him for a long time. Rest in peace, my cousin, brother, and second only to my dad, a father role model. And so that's from Robin. So if you didn't know Ab as well as some of us did, I think you have a better sense of the man that we're celebrating today. And so now I'll share a few words from my family. We come from Francis Kelly, from Sumas and Head of the Lake. And he married Josephine Cooper, who's from here. And Josephine's dad wasn't going to let Josephine leave Sewally. So he set aside some land, enough for a farm and enough for a family. And Grandpa moved to Sewally. The invasion of the Kellys began with one. But they had 8 sons. 8 sons. Only one of them didn't claim kids. The rest married and had big families too. And so we grew up in Kellyville. Just a small bunch of us at first. Maybe 10, 12 homes. Not like it is today, small community. But we did everything together. Everything. And the older ones looked after the younger ones. And Ab was the best kind of brother, cousin, uncle, dad, you call him whatever you call him. He was the best. Our culture teaches us a number of things. And I want to share some words about grief. I've had a bit of experience with myself. My dad, Tommy, one of those Kelly boys, was killed in a logging accident in January 1972. Grandpa passed away in the late 70s, Francis. My maternal grandmother passed away in 1977. My mom passed away in 1985. Lots of loss. And I was struggling. I was really struggling. And all I can remember is what my mom told me. If you don't look after grief, if you don't put it away in a good way, it becomes anger. And anger is energy. And a powerful energy that comes from anger, no human being can manage. You're going to hurt yourself, or you'll hurt the ones you love the most. Make sure you let go of that grief. If you need to cry, cry. If you're one like me, where you need to cry, but you do it by yourself, do it by yourself, but not behind the wheel. Make sure you're in a safe place and let those tears go. Had this opportunity not long after my mom passed in the mid-1980s. There's a woman, I don't even know if she's alive anymore. She went by different names. But when I met her, it was Maquilla. And of Mohawk ancestry. And she was a seer. And she was actually there to meet someone else in the office that I happened to share it with. So she got there a little bit early, and Gordon wasn't there. So I invited her in to have a coffee, learn some things from Ab, and we sat and visited. And then she started telling me things about myself. Why does she know that? I'm thinking to myself, why does she know that? What the hell? Who's been talking to her? You know who was talking to her? My late mom. We can't see them, but some can hear them. Some can feel them. Sometimes our loved ones will come to us in our dreams. Sometimes they'll come to us when we're in deep pain and deep stress, and we're anxious, and we're hurting. And they will come to comfort us if we're open to it, if we believe. And so I began to understand what that Maquilla was teaching me. When you look at death as loss, we can't cope. It's too much. It's too hard. I can't get through today to tomorrow. When you look at it as loss. And that's the way I was feeling. And then she helped me understand that there is no life without death. We all will make our journey one day. That's something we all have to face. So, if we look at the passing of a loved one as change, we can accommodate change over time. It might take a little while. We'll struggle, it'll hurt. But as we learn to cope, as we learn to let go of that grief in a good way, as we learn to stand together and support one another, we begin to heal. It doesn't hurt quite as much. And it's our ceremonies that will help us. Those rituals that we do, we remember. We celebrate days of importance. We carry out certain kinds of sacred ceremony once or twice a year, and we look after the ones on the other side. All of those teachings will help us maintain that connection to that love. Every now and again, some of you will know my late mom. Very different than my late dad. My late dad was quiet, gentle, diplomatic, hardly said a word. My mother, she's different. Opinionated, blunt, not shy about sharing her opinion whether you wanted to hear it or not. Guess who I'm like? I'm a mama's boy. My mom still comes to me. She's been gone. In the next little bit, 40 years. Next month would be 40 years that my mom passed, March 15th. 40 years. She'll still come to me if I'm pondering, what do I do? Help them, dumbass. Okay, Mom. It wasn't a matter of whether I'd help or not. It was about a little bit more detail than that, but my mom is straight up. And so if you're open to it, your dad will come to you when you need him the most. Your mom will come to you. They're there all the time. The other thing I wanted to leave with the family is when my mom passed, Auntie Elner, the next oldest sister, stepped up and told me, Roger, Clint, and Tammy that she was our mom now. And that if we need anything, that we were there. So there is no replacing Ab. But you have people to step in the way he stepped in for my dad. To give you that love and comfort of a dad, of a granddad, of a great-grandpa. You have them, they're right here. That handsome-looking gray guy right there. He loves all of you. In the same way, your dad loved his children and grandchildren. It's like that. He'll be there for you. The other brothers will be there for you. I'm a little further down the driveway. I will be there for you. In the same way your dad was there for me. In the same way that your dad was there for me. You're not alone. It's okay to feel alone. That's real. But you're not. You're not alone. I love you. I'm with you. And I want to thank all the people that came forward with love offerings, with food, and to come here and to support our grieving family. Asia.
OCM. My name is Mike James. I'm from Scout Kale. My first traditional name I received is Yango Mazik. And although I'm here from the Stella Territory, first traditional name I received is Algonquin, given to me by my elder White Cloud. He gave me that name because of some of the work that I did in the prison system. I worked in the jails for 16 years, and in that time worked in 12 different jails. So he gave me the name Yango Mazid after some of the work we did together. In his language, it means he who walks in peace. My family traditional name is Catalatin, and this was given to me by my mom. I want to thank the family for asking me to come up and share a little bit. I have a little bit of a selfish motive for that. And part of that is that I travel a lot. When I'm home in Canada, I'm traveling to many, many different communities, doing programs to help people deal with stuff. When I get a break, I go to the other side of the world. And I go to Thailand, Philippines. And my selfish motive was that when we lost Rose, I was in Chiang Mai. The Thai Buddhist ways are very similar to ours. And they have a lot of different, they're like small shrines. I don't know what the actual name is, but they're kind of set up, it's like a small temple. And the Thai people, whenever they walk past there, they stop, offer their prayers, thanking Buddha for their life and the good thing that came into their life. So when we lost Rose, I had the opportunity, I was visiting my buddy, Jimmy. And so when I heard about it, so I went to one of these shrines and lit the incense, and I offered a few songs, offered prayers to the family. And the other parts of that, losing Kathy, son, I wasn't around. And so there's a part of me that felt really sad, felt bad that I wouldn't be able to be here for the family. I have a very close connection with the family here for many, many years, like a second family. Right from school, right from soccer. And I started playing soccer quite late. So my ball skills were pretty limited. And so when I first started playing, I played for the Suwalli Rec League. And then after that, I was able to join in with the Ravens, 3rd division. Played with Merv, Pat, Howard, Kevin, with Ab on the sideline and cheering us on all the time. And we hear all the stories about the support that he offered at the field for the kids and everything. And off the field as well. David's turn came to mind right away when I started thinking about stories inappropriate. I'm thinking about things that I want to share. Oh, can't share that one. Oh, can't share that. No, not that one either. He always would make sure that Merv and I, would hang out all the time. And he'd give us a call. Where are you guys? Usually at my place. So he'd come up and get us, make sure that we're there. And yeah, that's as far as that story's going to go.
It was a good story.
Anyway, there are a lot of those inappropriate stories, comments, gestures, and just overall lots and lots of fun and laughter. The support, the love that Ab, offered all of us and Rose. So we've got a really strong family here. And, I feel honored to be able to come up and share a few words. Again, when I read David's post, my last trip to Thailand, I did the stem cell treatment on my knee. So I haven't been running for a while. And I actually run a fair bit. And I'm thinking about it. And I thought, well, I should go for a bike ride. And immediately, your post came to mind about him riding. And that was one of the first things that came to my mind as well. I was thinking about Ab and seeing, even as he aged on, I'd be driving around and see him out there on the road on his bike. And again, it was like I could hear him talking to my ear. Go for a ride. The bike is good for your knees. Like, okay. So then I kind of left it at that and kind of busy, kind of taking care of stuff. I just got back from work. And so I was kind of wrapping up stuff from work. And then when I hopped on my bike, and as soon as I started riding, it like right away, Ab came to mind. And it was like that spiritual connection was still there. Still coaching from the other side. And I had to do that again yesterday. Only this time I went a little further. I put my truck in the shop for servicing. Greendale Motors from my house is 10 kilometers. So I put the bike in the back of the truck and I'm riding back like, how the heck did I have to do this every day? My quads are burning by the time I got home. I like to share a little bit of, I guess, what Doug was sharing, your grief. We all need to help process that grief. If we don't deal with our grief in a healthy way, it's going to come out in an unhealthy way. And so we need to do that work, whatever you need to do. I remember when my brother Daryl passed away. That was when I received my first drum. Daryl was adopted from our family, and by the Ned family. I think probably a lot of you know that. But I remembered when I was asked to help pack up his house afterwards, and he had a sacred room there. And Shirley started walking up to me holding. Daryl had made 2 drums. And she started walking over me holding one of them. I was walking backwards. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, because I knew what that meant. You know, in our ways, to receive these sacred items, they're supposed to be put to work. I never sang a day in my life. And so that's when I first started singing. I would share with people that I scared the heck out of myself in the shower, trying to practice and learn a song. I'd be driving down the road, come up to a stoplight, put the windows up so nobody could hear me. And so when we use these things, our belief, we bring the spirit of that deer back to life that makes the cover, the spirit of that tree back to life that makes the frame. And in my brother's case, it helped me process my grief in a good, healthy way. He had a sense of humor. And there were times after the funeral was done. I used to have a TV stored in my bedroom, but I didn't really believe that that's a place to be watching TV. And so I never had it plugged in. And so after the funeral was all done and everything, I'd be sound asleep in bed. All of a sudden, the TV would turn on. I'd look and I'd just smile. Hey, bro. You know, I'd hop out of bed. You know, he'd turn the TV on, but he'd never turn it off. Make me get up. Right. And so I'd go over, and back then I was still a little bit skeptical about how real this stuff was. And so before I turned the TV off, I'd flick the light switch on and look behind the TV. Sure enough, that plug-in would be hanging there. It wasn't even plugged in the wall, but the TV was on, you know, like normal. And then I'd hear my brother Daryl giggle again. So your dad may come visit your grandpa, you know, and it's okay. And I always just paid attention to what our elders teach us. It's okay for them to come see us. Sometimes they just want to check on us, see how we're doing. But we need to let them know that we're okay and we've got a journey to finish on the other side now. And so I would say that, thanks for visiting, bro. I'm okay. Carrying these sort of things, I have a bundle, sacred bundle. I conduct my life ceremony. Helped me to gain a little bit better understanding of what it means when this human body dies. Our spirit carries on. So just knowing, feeling that comfort that it's just in a different form of life now, a different form of life. So it helped me it made it a little bit easier for me to accept that. And as I said, part of my breathing, whenever I miss my brother, just go pick up my drum head, walk through the house by myself. There's different things that I do to help me with my grief, help me process my health and well-being. Sometimes we forget that we need to take care of ourselves. And it's like our dad's talking to me. Mike asked him, who needs to go pee? So I'm going to kind of keep mine up short, but I do want to honor Ab, Rose, and Son, Kathy, and the others that I missed in the best way I know how. I'd like to sing a song to honor them and to send prayers of love and strength to our family, our friends, and our loved ones. So, this is for you.
Asia, just want to apologize to Kitalatin. I didn't call his name earlier. I should have called him by his combo squee. I'll apologize to Kitalatin. I thank him for getting up and sharing. Even Sassenbuch. Asia.
Holy fuck, how do I follow that, Ab? My apologies. Ace Whale, Saston Mook, Tel Squee, Tel Litzlaqua, Swally, of Daryl Commodore Jr., one of the council members here for Swally. It was an honor to be called by my traditional name, to come up and share a few words. And I came up with the rest of our leadership up here earlier. I had to sit back because I knew I was coming up now to come share some words. My deepest condolences to my family up here. As you all know, I've been expressing it over the past few days. Uncle Ab had a lot of love for everybody, and it's only proper to do it back. Uncle Ab shared all that love, taught each and every one of us that love and how to share it, pass it on. Those teachings that he had for each and every one of you, share it. Share it amongst your family that maybe can't be here today. You say when you come here and you sit with the people, you're all witnesses to what takes place here. So what you see, what you hear here, you share with the ones that can't be here. I know a lot of people pass their condolences on. Jamie, I just seen Jamie outside, and she apologizes, Jamie Commodore, she apologizes that she can't be here to sit with you today because of the sickness that's going around. I went and got my haircut yesterday at the Superstore, and the ladies there send their condolences too. You know, it seemed like every time I'd get a haircut, I'd run into Ab. He'd say, "Holy fuck, kid, who cut your hair?" It's a Superstore. Oh yeah, fuck, I used to go there too, but now I go to that place in the better. He says, they do a fucking good flat top there. I like yours today, though. So, Ab's kind of a little bit kind of like Ab because I like to use the F word too. I don't know, it just comes natural, I guess. It's hard to bite my tongue while I'm up here. As I mentioned yesterday, you know, when we run into Ab, it was always laughter. But like I said yesterday, it was all about the birds and the bees. And I said, I guess those are the teachings that he passed on to me. And I said, my wife says, that's you when you get older. So I thank Ab for the teachings that he's left behind for me. And I also said last night, if he wasn't clowning on me, he was charming on my wife, pushing me aside. You want a real man? Whenever he fucks up, you come see me. Just want to touch base on that, you know. The whole when you fuck up. That used to be I used to be an alcoholic back in the day. I decided to change my life around. I reached out for that help that some of us aren't, it's hard for some people to do, and it was hard for me. But it was a decision that I chose to make. And when I ran into Ab a few times, I told him what I was doing. And he said he was proud of me. When you start hearing those words, proud from an elder, you don't want to flip that around. So that little bit of encouragement, help keep me going. Maybe that little bit of push has me standing here right now. The position that I carry is encouragement from the elders that we have in our community. We show them love and respect as they've shown us. Again, my deepest condolences to the family. It's a hard thing, very hard thing to sit in the front row. I lost my mother how many years ago, so I know what that hurt feels like. I dealt with my grief in the wrong way. Those tough decisions that were made, I wasn't involved in it because I was selfish and I was thinking about myself. My hands go up to the family for following with our dear uncle's wishes that he set aside for these days. Like I said, if I was in the right place at the time of my mom's loss, I would have used what I know now to those days. A lot of the teachings that I carry were from one of the men that I called Dad, Tanachula. He always says, if you see a family with sadness, sickness, or sorrow, you do what you can to help the family. You be there. It started off with helping pack wood to the family. Then I started sitting around the fire, doing those long hours, staying up to keep that fire going for the families. And then the roles start to change. And then you start stepping up and you're hands-on with the family, keeping the family, looking after the family the best that we can. And with the ladies that we do in our community, we do it with love. We do it with love. We've been there for you guys in the past, and we'll be here to support you guys in any other way. We'll continue to share the love amongst one another. When those hard feelings come to you, I want to thank Kwantlen for that very kind gesture to cover the family with that hug. That's a very good teaching right there. I mentioned last night that's such a big family sitting there, and it sure sticks out even more now that they're covered. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling blue, you grab that blanket and you wrap it around you just as it is right now. And remember that warm, gentle hug that you're covered with. That hug will be with you forever. Those are for you to keep. If you ever feel that you need it, don't be shy to grab it and wrap yourself. Don't be shy to pick up a phone and reach out to someone. You look at everybody in here today, they're here to support you, and they'll continue to be here to support you. it's our support system that we have right now. It's kind of tough because it's all social media, but it's so much easier to reach out that way. I guess you can say in a way it's a tool. I love each and every one of you. Your family. Like I said yesterday, we don't share the same last name, but we're family because we come from this great place that we call home. Suwali. We're Suwali proud. Our extended family from Kwantlen. My stepdad's from there. Harvey. They have him written as Harvey on the pamphlet. Richard Falardo is my stepfather. He raised me since I was a little boy to a young teenager. He gave me some of those teachings I needed growing up as a young child. It's just that I just wanted to share that a little bit because that's the connection that I have also with the family. It's through my dad, Rick. I remember living in Kwantlen as a child. I went by a different name back in the day. But we'd always wrestle at all the homes out there. George's house. And I was Quint's age, so we spent a lot of time at Quint's house. But I haven't seen him in many years. But we're family, like I said. The family looks after one another. Whether there's any differences in the family, they should be put aside, and we should look after one another. Because we're one heart, one mind, especially when we're sitting like this. We come together and we support one another the best that we can. I don't have a whole lot more to share. It's hard to get up here and speak after Doug's been up here because, I get together with Doug before these things and I start saying stuff and he repeats it because he's before me. Just kidding. Love you, Doug. His encouragement all the time is you be there for the people. His words, you be there for the people. And that's what we try our best to do each and every day. Be there for the people. But I also want to express when it comes time like this, some things get put aside because the people come first. Sometimes our council position gets put aside because family's number one in this time. But I just want to say, I love each and every one of you. I'm thankful for each and every one of you for coming, being here. To the ones that came forward and helped at the home with the food throughout the days, the ones that did the long hours by the fire. I just want to say, holy fuck, Ab, they're all here for you. Yesterday, we did our drive back, and Tanya has been putting these posters up along the way, and it just made my day taking them down. Tanya's teachings was, let's get them down, let's get his pictures out before it gets dark outside. So I was out there trying my hardest to pull those off without damaging them. But every fucking poster I looked at, he's like, fuck you. Throwing his fists up. Yeah, everyone is just, it's Ab. But the last one of the day, I was in that yard and there was a dog there, and he was probably wondering why I was in his yard, and I was trying to get that picture off as fast as I could because I seen him, and he's kind of a handicapped dog, but he still has a fucking bark. And he's barking at me, and he's trying to come at me, and I'm trying to get this board off as quick as I could. Then I'm running to my truck. And then as soon as I put that picture down, it was him. He was like laughing at me, you know. See, that's what those are, right? Those are him. You know, no matter where you stand up here right now, he's looking at you. No matter where you move, he's looking at you. And that's my belief with those. He was with me while I was taking those down. Those little bit of teachings I hold, and I'll always remember his teachings for me. Like I said last night, I'm looking forward to where I get a little older and I can say fuck anywhere without getting judged for it. Uncle Ab didn't judge nobody. We didn't judge nobody. So with that, I just want to say many hajkas to each and every one of you, and I love you all. Peace, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to thank all the previous speakers who got up and shared a few words. Stream, I'd like to thank you, dear uncle, for doing the eulogy for Uncle Ab here. You know, when you run into people and it's sometimes your first time meeting them, and exactly what was said is I met Uncle Ab when he was going through the reserve on his bike. He'd go over to see Ed Williams quite frequently. And a lot of the namesakes that carry that name are in the house at this time. Thank you for being here. He would always go back through Sumas and he would talk about his bike rides that he would have with Auntie Rose and his family. And he'd say, I always have to come home to visit Mom. That's why I'd always come back here. He said, I always had to come visit Mom. And he'd always come back to Kilgard whenever he could. Sometimes he'd make the trip a few times a month. Sometimes he'd only make it back home once. But he'd do it to visit Mom, and he never forgot his family. It was told to me when I was really young that our village had runners. And these men would go from village to village to village. And they would let people know what was going on. If the Kwakiutk were coming into our village, men like this, who were very strong, would make it to the next village over to Lacamo and say, this is what's going on. Then they'd run to the next village, Skalitz. This is what's going on. Then they'd run to Chehalis. This is what's going on, Chiam. In case those people ever did make it through our village, they would go to the next one because they were here on a raid party. And I was always told that we were reincarnated. This was one of our old runners in our old lifetimes. Live and breathe an enactment of how to be and how to see the people. This is our elder and one of our old people. Now our old people act are way different than how we are the next generation. You know, he really embodied the cedar tree, kindness, generosity, flexibility. He loved his family. I used to spend quite a bit of time with Tilly before she left here. And when Auntie Rose left, she was all the love in the world. Everyone knows how much love Auntie Rose had for everybody here. And they were lost without her. Family was lost without Auntie Rose for a while. Because she gave you so much of herself. But the Creator says that we're put here until the jobs that we need to do are done. And you know, my uncle's job for a little while here was to be without her. Because he was he was strong. Such a strong man. And when Auntie Rose left, it taught him a lot about humility. When Tilly left, it taught him a lot about humility. he opened up quite a bit more to family. He opened up quite a bit more to taking help. Those are when you heard the words, I love you, come out a lot more often. Because we just didn't know how long we have with each other here on this earth. We don't know how long we're going to be around. You know, this man led by example. When Chakalatsa left, he was one of the honorary pallbearers. And we would just tell the honorary pallbearers, you've done your time here, just sit back. And we're walking up, because it was the old tradition in Kilgard that we would walk you from the hall to the cemetery. And he's walking alongside the casket, and you could tell he just wanted to help out. You know, he wanted to do the most he could for his family. And he walked up to me, he's like, I just want to let you know I ain't no fucking pansy, and I'm gonna help carry this casket, whatever the fuck you say or not, just to let you know. And he did. The next round that went, and I said switch, he jumped in and he helped pick up Ed, and he helped walk right to the final resting spot. There's lots of memories that we have, hey. You know, he didn't go to the smokehouse very often. Wasn't one of his favorite pastime things. And the community here was going through a lot then. This is like 2 years ago. They decided, Bones decided we're going to have a red dance here. Invite some of the people to come by and sing, and some of the people that wore that gift from this village. They came by and they shared that medicine, but also Uncle Ab walked in to see what was going on here in the community. One of those things that I'm not going to share, because he pulled out a knife at that time too. And he was saying, if you ever cut me off again, I'll give this to you, but I didn't know which way he's going to give it. He's given us a lot of memories, and he showed us a lot of strength and how to be as men. And you know, he did this by example. He hung out here longer. You know, when you lose your mate, some people don't hang out here that long. But he came here and he showed us how to be as an example, showed us more love, showed us more perseverance. Even though things would be hard for him when we'd ever go through loss, he would always be here. He'd always be with the family. I'd like to thank you, Uncle Ab, for being here with us. And I'd like to, on behalf of the family here, thanking everyone from coming near and far. And I know quite a few of you come a long distance to be here with the family. He's very well loved, very well respected, and lived a full life. I'd like to thank everyone for bringing him home and allowing his family to do this ceremony. You know, Kwantlen in the language means tireless runner. And you know, Uncle, he could go and go and go, and he's got tracks that he's going to go all the way around. I won't be surprised in the next day or two if it starts to rain, because the old people used to say is once their journey is done here, the Creator is going to wash away all their tracks here on this museum. I'd like to thank everyone, and I'd like to thank the speaker for being here and conducting the ceremony. Siri Dalit Sam Saya Kusai Lahai.
Yes, yeah. Really thanking the family for choosing these speakers. Each speaker that got up shared strongly from the heart their teachings and their condolences and their love and their respect. Each one left a little piece of themselves out here for each one of us. I thank the family for choosing them, choosing the right ones at this time to get up and share. Really powerful medicine for all of us to learn from and to remember all these teachings sitting here for us. That's why we allow the floor to be open just a little bit. You know, our uncle, we talked a little bit about it last night. You know, how we feel right now, we feel that broken heart. We talked about his last night. how he lived here with that broken heart with his wife had moved on to the other side waiting for him. With all the work and all the love that just got put into his ceremony and his time here, and everybody's love that came to sit with him and participate, give something of themselves, bring in their skills and their tools to help make this a beautiful celebration and ceremony. Now today we can look at him and say, his heart is mended now. He's with her. He's whole again. He carried that around, and it's good to acknowledge that he showed that humility. He showed his strength by being here without her and carried on for his family as long as he needed to. That his work is over. But today we could be happy to say, now his heart is mended. He's with her again. He feels good. We look at him as an elder because that's the way we remember him. But he's a young man now. He's got no more aches and pains, no more depression, no more broken heart, no more missing pieces of his body. He's whole again, and he's celebrating. It's true, there's been a lot of passing in the family in the recent times. But they're all waiting for him, and they're all excited. They're all excited to have him just as much as we're happy for him. All this is a big prayer in itself by you guys being here, honoring the family, helping him, looking at him and saying, oh, we're here to help your family move on. They will make it. I really honor the thought of the picture, how he's looking at everyone. We use these pictures in our memorials. They say that when we bring them out, they're alive. When we walk around on the floor and we show that picture to everybody, it's the pictures alive looking at who's here. Thanking them. Seeing who's here to be with their family. Our protocols are to put these pictures away after today. Let them rest. But today, he's looking at each and everybody and saying, thank you for being here with my family. Thank you. When we shed our tears, we're showing him we're going to heal in a good way. And that's what this is today, healing in a good way. This time I'm going to be asking our drummers to share that song while we get ready to present the video. So we're going to once again call upon our drummers to give us that little bit of prayer. Yes, yeah.
Tiptoed in the room. I know you got to have your rest. She says, come lay beside me. I've been waiting since you left. She's sweet to me. Must be the luckiest man alive. Did I tell you, baby, you are the joy of my life? way. Yeah. Might not get to heaven, but walk with the angels that day. If you Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, I love you, Kelly. I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how my heart yearns for you, oh, Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, Kelly. I love you, Peggy Sue. Oh, well, little things you say and do make me want to be with you. Ain't no crazy leaving now. I know it's got me leaving when you say I love you. The way you dance and hold me tight, the way you kiss and say goodnight. Parade on this crazy leaving now. I know it's got me leaving when you say I love you. Parade on. Oh, the rain on the crazy leaving, and I know it's got me leaving. I'm so glad that you're leaving your love on me. Rain on and tell me, you not be lonely. Tell me, you love me only. Rain on. Since you left, and here on earth, everything's different. Every day it's getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day it's getting faster. Everyone said go up and ask her. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day seems a little longer. Every way love's a little stronger. Come what may, do you ever long for true love from me? Every day it's getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey.
Good. So, with all the time that we've been talking and everything over the last couple months, you mentioned something that you've always wanted to get. You've mentioned that you wanted to get something, and it's a bike.
Come take a look at this bike. Oh,
Yeah.
nothing. All that. That's a bike.
It's yours. It's yours.
Kind of deal?
Yeah.
Oh, they're the best bike made.
Yeah.
I deserve that.
For being my papa.
Yeah.
So me and my dad paid for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a bike for me.
You can dance every dance with the guy who gives you the eye, let him hold you tight. You can smile every smile for the man who held your hand beneath the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home, and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, say the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine, like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun, laugh and sing. But while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. But don't forget who's taking you home, and in whose arms you're gonna be. If I die 23, won't you bury me in the sunshine? Please let me know that you're still mine. Though I'm gone, my love for you is oh so strong. And when the grass grows over me, let me know you still love me. Never put nobody else above me. Then I'll know my love for you will always grow. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye.
Well, see, I'm really thankful to everybody that came forward with pictures. Really thankful for that video. The video we received the bike, really acknowledging how much that is of him. Hearing them swear and really showing who he is, his character. That's what we're all going to love and remember. That's who he was and still is. Thank you to Tanya for having the strength and patience to put that beautiful video together for all of us to experience and share. We're going to move on now. Feelings of the family, uncle, that he's going to be cremated, no burial today. Family has future plans at a later time for him. That'll be their work later on, how they want to conduct that work. Maybe they'll call everybody back together for that time. But for now, no burial today. We are going to have a viewing. This time, going to rely upon our elders to, again, once take care of us. To Tuslaluk, Shoquin, to come forward and take care of our loved one. Asking our pallbearers to come forward and be the arms and the legs. We're going to be escorting our dear elder over to the doorway. And once he's rested at the doorway, we're going to be asking everybody to view him from the back and make their way out the building. Honorary pallbearers to be second last, and the family